Hi everyone, Matthew Donovan here. Day 68 of Learning Czech, and I have an update for you. I'm breaking the pattern. I had done updates on 37, 47, and day 57, but it's now day 68. That's just how things go. It was a very busy week for me last week. I'd actually hoped to upload a video last week, but I wasn't able to get that completed. So here we are. What's going on? It's the middle of March. There's just over 20 days until I'm at 90 days in my Learning Czech challenge. I don't expect anything to actually happen after 90 days. It is on a Sunday, so I might see if I can get a Skype lesson or potentially even talk to the lady who lives in my building, see if we can get that on camera, see if we can get a video uploaded after 90 days. I think it'll be a good occasion to see where I'm at and what I can do. How have things been going? Things have been going well. I've been using a lot of Link. During the month of February, I spent a lot of time communicating. I spent a lot of time on Skype, probably more quickly than I should have. I was spending a lot of time looking words up in the dictionary. And what I found was I'd look up a word, use it in a sentence, and then 2 sentences later, I'd need the same word, but I had no clue what it was. I'd look it up and translate, and all of a sudden, yes, I remembered the word, but it doesn't come to my mind when I need it. So in that sense, I question the effectiveness of using Google Translate. I think it was beneficial. The main reason I was making those sentences was not so that I could learn the words I was looking up in Google Translate. It was actually so that I could use verbs, or I could use other words, adjectives or quantifiers that I know and that I'm familiar with. I was just looking up the nouns because you need them to make the sentence. That being said, during the month of March, these past 2 weeks, I spent a lot of time on Link with input. The way Link works is they have, I like to call them stories or categories basically, and within those categories or stories, you can have individual lessons. So people are free to upload their own lessons, or they're free to upload their own stories with many lessons. Who is She is a common story that spans almost every language that is available on Link. It's a little bit of a mystery or a detective story where there's a girl looking for her brother and trying to find him, and people are asking questions and things like that. I'm not too far in, but I'm learning vocabulary through that. I've also started looking through another story that's titled Moje rodina, My Family, and it's talking about brothers and sisters and sons and daughters, wives and husband, aunts, uncles. They have photographs of the people in their family, and they're describing them. Oh, is that your wife to the left of you? No, that's my sister. My wife is to the right of me, just for example. So I'm reading through that, and as I read those vocabulary words, they stick in my brain every once in a while after days of input. Something I found off the first day, typically what I find is that my personal belief is that I'm memorizing the words. So I don't remember the exact sentence, but something along the lines of Vidiš moje rodina? Do you see my family? Well, I knew what moje rodina meant my family, but I didn't know Vidiš. So I look it up, and it says, do you see? Vidím is I see, Vidiš, you see. That first day, I had just memorized, oh, Vidiš is do you see. So when I was going to bed, I was thinking that through in my head. Do you see? Vidiš. I see, vidím. What I found was the next day, when it popped up, I knew what it was right away, but I attributed that to my memorizing. Right? I said, yes, I know what this is, but I haven't learned it. I've simply memorized it. But now we're about a week later, and I still remember the word Vidiš, Vidiš moje rodina, do you see my family? And yes, to some extent it might be memorizing. I still remember, so pro vás mohu udělat, which is, what can I do for you? But because I've memorized that, or because I've learned that, I think it's become ingrained in my brain, ingrained in my memory, and I can call onto that. So yes, now when I see Vidiš, I know it means do you see, or you see. But I think it's just because of the input, because I've seen it time and time again. What's a good example here? Last week I talked about, or a week and a half ago when I made my last video, I talked about I couldn't remember the words for taller versus older. So what did I say? I said, you know what, I've had this experience with vidiš, where I can memorize the word and I can remember it. I'm going to try the same thing with these words that are stumping me. Well, I'm not particularly tall, but I am the oldest person in my family. So I went to Google Translate and I said, how would I say I am the oldest? Jsem nejstarší. So I've been saying that to myself over and over again. So it's ingrained in my head now. Jsem nejstarší. I am the oldest. But nejsem vyšší. I am not tall. So I have these sentences. Nejsem vyšší. Jsem nejstarší. I am the oldest. I am not tall. And because of these sentences, now I'm able to make that association. When I was just reading through the text, the way it was proposed was someone asked a question and said, I forget exactly how the sentence was laid out, but Váš bratr, on je nejstarší, which is, your brother, is he the oldest? But then the sentence following said, Váš bratr, on je nejvyšší. And that one means, your brother, is he the tallest in your family? But I could never remember the two, because the sentences were exactly the same. One sentence was, Váš bratr, on je nejstarší, and the other one was, Váš bratr, on je nejvyšší. So the only difference was nejstarší and nejvyšší, and I was just trying to remember which is asked first, right? Does the story ask him if he's taller, or does the story ask him if he's older? And I realized that was a foolish way to go about it, because if I see the word in the wild, in a book, or if it's said to me in conversation, I need to know the difference between starší and vyšší. And just now, it's only been a day or two since I made this connection and started to say to myself, Jsem nejstarší, I am the oldest. But now I'm confident that I can tell these two words apart. So I think it's a large bit of just input, reading these words, memorizing them, seeing them repeated times in context, but every once in a while there will be some words that stump me, and I think it's at that point that I need to work on solutions. I'm very pleased with the fact that I was able to think of Jsem nejstarší, and I just keep saying that to myself over and over again. Starší is old. And now if I see starší, who knows? I'm hoping that there will be that connection to Jsem nejstarší. I am the oldest, and then I can go from there. We'll see. In other things I've been doing, I'm thinking to myself a lot more. As I go on my daily basis, I'm just constructing sentences, basic sentences with the words I know. So for example, can we speak in Czech? Můžeme mluvit česky. Or I'm just thinking to myself, I know Czech. Znám češtinu. Right? Again, the parts of speech, whether or not it's the accusative or the dative, the forms are not perfect. But it's finding those words, making those connections. Sometimes I don't remember the words. So again, this could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain that I need is používám. But what happened was I was trying to make that sentence and I said, I need blank, and I couldn't remember what I need was. So I went to translate, looked it up, and I said it to myself a few times, and throughout the rest of that day I kept saying it to myself. I also know poslouchat, which is listen, or it's just words that I'm saying to myself again and again. I see them. I notice I'm having some trouble with all the words that start with P, the verbs especially. There's používám, potřebuji, poslouchat. I believe there's even, to write is pils, I think. I'm not familiar 100% with write, but it's something, again, to start with P, but it's just that matter of saying them, trying to memorize the words, and I think this is the issue, is if you're just using a flashcard system, I'm trying to remember. Starší, older. Vyšší, taller. But if I put them in a sentence that has meaning to me, then I can remember what the sentence means. But again, I'm jumping more into the personal, how I'm going about the language, what sort of strategies I'm using, but at this point, it's all about input. I read the text multiple times until I'm familiar with it, then I also listen. The unfortunate thing is the lessons are very short. They're only about a minute or two long. So I've probably only put in about a half hour worth of listening. But I listen to it slowly, I read along with the text. I haven't been able to put in as much time into listening, but I've definitely been putting that time into reading, and I definitely think my vocabulary is improving because of it. I see words, I make connections, and things, I just remember them now. For example, I read in one of the texts something about Mam dvi syny a jedna dcera. I have 2 sons and 1 daughter. Initially, I couldn't remember what dcera was. I suspected syny was sons, but I saw dcera and I didn't make that connection. But now I have the sentence in my head, Mam dvi syny a jedna dcera. I have 2 sons and 1 daughter, and I can make those connections. And just even as I'm driving home, I'm thinking of these words. Widzisz, you see. Dcera, daughter. Posłuchać, listen. Things like this. So even though I might not be sitting down in front of my iPad or in front of the computer working through lessons, I'm still spending that time to make those connections, build those pathways, and strengthen those connections. And I think that's very important. 68 days in, wow. That's all I can say is just wow. Just over 2 months, I think I'm finally starting to make that connection, and I'm finally starting to build my vocabulary. Very excited with how things have gone. Very excited for what things will bring in the future. But I think I'm going to cut the update here. Hopefully the next one will be out probably within a week. I'm spending a lot of time on Link. I spent an hour and a half just the other day. Normally I try to spend about half an hour, but spending a lot of time with good results. I'm learning a lot of words, and I think that's just a matter of a lot of input, see what sticks. If 1,000 words come at me or 10,000 words come at me, maybe I'll learn half of them, maybe I'll learn a quarter, who knows? But even the ones I don't know are still sitting in the back of my brain, waiting for those connections to be formed. So as always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. There'll be another one coming out, as I said, hopefully within a week, but I just uploaded my February update for my resolutions. I recommend you check that out. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.